If we stand back and take a look from our current vantage point back to the nature of what New Melones Dam did to the Stanislaus and the rationale for it, and even what Glen Canyon and Lake Powell did to Glen Canyon, how do you think about that now?
Well, 50 years ago, more than 50 years ago, we had just a lot more sense that the environment was a steady phenomenon. It was a little wavy in times.
We were always going to have water at the level we were getting at. The temperature would always be the same variability.
Yeah, we didn't, though the science of climate change was well underway 50 years prior to all of this, it was not well known beyond. And, looking back, the Colorado River has much less water than was projected to have, and Glen Canyon now is, it'd be quite appropriate just to drain it, which is what we were pushing back in the 80s, 90s. Let's drain it, just drain it. And of course the same thing is true in California generally, that the amount of water is not showing up the same way, and it's showing up in different times. And
there's an effort by a related group to all this, restoring the Stanislaus, that now is seeking to make the argument that reoperating New Melones would make sense, that it doesn't need the full reservoir that it's had, that there's ways of storing water downstream underground that are far more conservative of water evaporation in a time of water shortage, and that there are many other rationales that would go on that would argue for permanently drawing down the reservoir. Any thoughts about that whole line of thinking?
The groundwater point is extremely important, that you evaporate water from reservoirs. Reservoirs are great big evaporation ponds, which is really true on the Colorado. But yes, we pumped all our not all, but great amounts of groundwater out. And that's storage capacity. And it's harder to fill and harder to empty than a dam, but it's also just a lot better storage capacity. So yes, we could very well operate with less storage, use
Less storage behind the dam and more storage underground and other ways.
More river to run.
Yeah.
And the river would come back. It comes back rather quickly. It's also true in the Glen Canyon that the biologists go into the Glen Canyon, they're just amazed that so much stuff is happening so fast.
Interesting.
And also that so much of, the Glen Canyon, you have a lot of silt. A lot of that silt moves, at least out of the upper reaches, faster than they predicted it would.
Yeah.
So the parallels between the two dams are quite remarkable.